If your hip hurts, especially in the front, you may have a tension problem. In the PSO-AS is a very deep muscle. Hip flexor that, look, I have here with me, that goes through the inside of the hip and originates at the level of the spine. I just want to show you this. Look at the thickness it has. Notice how fat its section is at the lumbar area and also its more iliac part. If your pain matches what's on the screen, watch this video to the end as I'll show you how to address it. 4 very, very powerful stretches in order of difficulty, starting from the simplest to the most difficult, so that you can stretch that muscle, decompress your hip, and improve your symptoms. But before we start with the exercises, I want to invite you to a very, very special free event that we are preparing about hip pain. Bayao. It will take place from the 21st to the 27th of April, and for 7 days it will be offering you the best exercises and knowledge to improve your health and your quality of life and your pain. To register, I'll leave a card above and a link in the video description's first comment. We're going to need a chair, a rug, a plastic plate. It can also be a folio like the one I have here. Look. And just a chair, as we'll do a final exercise leaning on it. Also, bring a cushion to protect our knees. We'll leave this here and turn the chair around. Remember, let's look at the simplest exercise of all. This is very suitable for all older people who have difficulty moving and who can't directly lie on the floor to do the exercises. Basically, what we're going to do is the following. Pay attention. We're going to lift the leg that we don't want to stretch over the chair like this and leave the opposite leg completely stretched out. What we're looking for in the PSO-AS is the hip extension relative to the lumbar area, meaning my pelvis comes forward and my leg stays back. Open the angle that forms the spine and the legs. So basically what we're going to do is tilt our pelvis forward, opening the angle that forms my spine and my hip. In this way, as you see, there is a lumbar extension. We stand up straight and maintain the position. We will notice a slight tightness here right in front of the pelvis. The further back the support foot is placed and the further away the chair is, the greater the stretch. We will be careful here because the goal is not to work on balance but to work safely. Noticing a tension in the front part of the hip. And that's why I recommend having a wall nearby, having someone close to hold on to in case there's a risk of falling. The more I lean forward, the more I feel the tightness right here at the level of the pelvis. I hold for 30 seconds. And relax. There are certain tricks that can help us improve the feeling of stretching. The first is that you don't have to lean forward, because as I mentioned before, it increases the angle between the spine and the leg. If I have leaned forward, I am closing that angle, I have to open it. And to do that, I'm always going to stand very, very upright, looking straight ahead with my chest up. By doing this, the tension will be greater. Second trick, the tip of the foot can be directly facing outwards, backwards. In this way, we focus more on stretching the insertion of the PSO-AS and we can give it a greater range of motion. We maintain the position very straight, hold for 30 seconds if this does not cause any type of stretch. Do you want to work a little more intensely? We can place the arm right here behind the neck, which will greatly extend the lumbar area and exponentially increase the stretch. In fact, here I feel a very, very high, very, very interesting tension, which finally makes my PSO-AS feel stretched. Hand at the level of the nape, I push back with the nape to cause that stretch of the entire anterior chain. Very good exercise. Very good stretch can help you enormously to reduce the tension of the PSO-AS muscle. Remember to also do it with the opposite side. Very upright, I place my foot, the tip of the foot below outward. Very upright, hand where the knee, opposite hand at the nape level. And I lean forward to increase the angle between my back and my leg, which is the one that's right behind. At no time does my nape rest against my hand, okay? Very upright and my elbow points towards the ceiling. At no time do I bend forward. In fact, if I do this, the tension decreases. If I do this, the tension increases, and I play with my pelvis. I go further forward, hold the position for 30 seconds and go back. If you struggle to maintain balance, we go forward, hold for 5 seconds and go back. The important thing is that you find a difficulty that suits your abilities, that it's a pleasant exercise, and that above all, you know how to focus the tension. Locate the tension here, right in front of the hip. We turn the chair around because we're going to do a slightly more difficult stretch. This stretch involves more movement as it's a slide on the floor, and for that we're going to need a sheet of paper or alternatively a cardboard plate. Cardboard plates are extremely good and they're going to help you perform the exercise much better. We're going to place it down on the floor. We're going to lean on it at the level of the chair. Remember at the beginning, okay? We have to open the angle that forms between the hip, the leg, and the spine. Open it, okay? Basically, we have to push the pelvis forward, pushing, extending that hip backwards. We're going to do it with the left leg, okay? My right leg stays on the ground. My left leg is resting on the plate. From here, notice what I do. I slide the plate. I stay very upright, very upright, very upright. And as you see, the angle between the leg and my spine grows. Therefore, the tightness is very, very interesting. I hold for a few seconds and I return to the initial position. I really like this one because the fact that the plate slides back gives very good sensations, gives a very good stretch and very good results. I place my foot on the plate, extend as far back as I can, always keeping myself upright. And even if you want, look, we can keep that arm back here to give more tension to the front part, resulting in a lot of tension on the front side of the hip. Be careful and maintain your balance. I don't want you to fall. Safety is paramount in the workplace. These exercises. While we were holding the previous one for 30 seconds, we are going to work this one in repetitions. We can do 3-4 sets of 5-10 repetitions. Feeling good? Look how pleasant the tightness here at the level of the pelvis. If I lower my pants more, I think it's going to burst. We return to the initial position, very, very pleasant, and I'm going to repeat it a couple of times with the opposite side so you can see it from your own home. Very upright. I lean on the chair, slide back, open the angle between my thorax, my chest, my lumbar spine, and my back leg. And what I do is bring this hand up. Absolute tightness in my right iliac fossa. I return to the initial position and rest briefly. Let's go again, stretching the PSO-AS. Iliacum is not only good for the hip, but it can also be good for the lumbar area. In fact, it is recommended for people who have lumbar pain. Recurrently. Let's go with the last repetition, hand on nape. And we go backwards. Very, very pleasant. Second stretch, okay? Can we do 2-3 sets of 5 to 10 repetitions? We're going to switch cameras and show you an alternative that I don't like very much, but that might be helpful to older people. And it's basically a stretch that we do. Lying on the couch, okay? More than on the couch. I would say on the bed or on the table. Why? Because we start from the same principle, okay? We have to increase the angle between the lumbar area, the abdominal area, and the hip, which has to lean back. So this is the safest stretch we can do. Basically what we do is lie on our backs at the edge of our bed. Attention here, leaving half a buttock or the entire buttock on the outside. Off the bed, off the couch, off the chair, off the table. And from here we are going to lie down. 1 second, let's not lose the audio here. The right leg that I don't want to stretch stays fixed on the chest. The left leg that I do want to stretch opens outward. So here it is, gravity that acts on the leg, increasing the angle. Again, remember it, between the lumbar spine and the leg that goes down. It's a good alternative if you like the extremely passive, and if not, you feel very comfortable with the previous versions. And that anyone can do, regardless of their age. The problem is that we quickly touch the ground, and it's not a stretch that's going to give intensity, but it has a very short range. If you compare it, for example, with the glide I just showed you, and to increase that angle, to increase that range of motion, we would need to lie down on a higher table and lie down on a higher table. It means the greater the risk, the greater the possibility of falling. So be careful, it's a good stretch, but it's not for throwing rockets. Let's go with the next one, for which we're going to need the sofa again. And a small cushion. The trick to this stretch is that people with knee pain can't do it because it requires significant support at the kneecap level. Pay close attention. We will position ourselves on all fours near the sofa. Next, I'm going to rest the back of my foot on the sofa and I'm going to place the cushion right under the knee. From here I move a little to the side, place my opposite leg in front, rest my hand at knee level and stand upright. As you can see, we're looking for the same position as at the beginning. We open the angle between the thorax, spine and hip. What are we looking for here? Move a little bit forward, support myself with my hands, advance my body a little bit and then stand straight again. As you can see, we already have a very good position here to attack the stretching of the PSO-AS. Pay close attention. What I'm going to do is bring my hip forward, thus increasing the angle. We'll put the other camera that you can see here, magnificent from the side view, and here we have it. You see here on that camera, right? The one that's completely on the side. How do you increase that angle? Look, the angle between the lumbar area and the hip is increased. Here they are the same. If I tilt my pelvis forward, this angle becomes much larger. Tightness in the anterior part of the PSO-AS, anterior part of the hip, anterior pit, and we maintain the position. I never lean forward. In fact, if I flex, the tension completely decreases. I always stay very, very upright and with the hand on the same side. Can I place it here to increase that tightness? If I support my nape against the hand and push with the nape backwards and bring that elbow upwards, the tightness is spectacular throughout my PSO-AS. Left iliac. Very good exercise, but not for everyone. For those of you with kneecap problems, I don't recommend it because there is significant support at the kneecap level. If you're not able to hook your foot on the couch, it's okay. It's not strictly necessary. You can place your leg down, but there will be a loss of tension that you will notice quickly. You're going to see that you're going to have to bring your pelvis much further forward, like I'm showing you here, to feel that tension. Let's do it again from the other perspective. I position myself on all fours. I show it to you again. I leave my knee on the cushion. Let me put the other camera so it can be seen better. There we are. That's it. I leave my knee on the cushion, the back of the foot level of the sofa. I place my opposite leg. I bring it a little bit if you want. I place my opposite leg here. Next to it, I position myself upright, and from here we are going to place the other camera. What I'm going to do is slide my pelvis a little bit forward, and you see how here. Clearly you can see the difference between my spine that is not aligned with the back leg, this one here, but this one is completely backwards, and my spine is completely straight. Very upright, chest up, hand at knee level, hand on the nape pushes back, the elbow up, and I hold the position. Where do you feel tightness? Do you know? Right iliac fossa, exactly here in front of the hip. I return again and hold for 30 seconds. And relax if 30 is too much. If you don't feel comfortable, you can simply do 5 seconds and go back. I slide my pelvis forward 5 seconds and I go back. I slide again. 5 seconds and I go back. It's a very good way to make that PSO-AS more flexible, to give it more elasticity, and to reduce tension and compression at your hip level. We remove this cushion. Now we need a mat, as we are going to do the last and more complicated exercise. Now you will see that this is indeed an alternative for young people who are not afraid to throw themselves on the floor. We are going to put this camera here. Let me check everything is perfect. We are going to place the mat at ground level. This one is important. You can't do it if you have lower back pain because it's the most demanding of all. In fact, all the stretches we've seen have a certain demand at the lumbar level. They can cause some discomfort. It's okay. However, this last one is a much higher demand and I don't recommend it to everyone. We position ourselves on all fours. I move my feet back until they touch the sofa. I lift the back of one foot. Similar to what we've seen before, I lift the back of the other foot. I continue to approach with my knees and I lie down face down, as you see, with my knees practically in contact with the sofa. Very, very close, legs together, and from here we are going to do a lumbar extension. We are already placing that leg in flexion. There is stretching throughout the anterior chain. There is already a small stretch in the PSO-AS. So what's missing is to add tension through our hands. This stretch is very physically demanding, but at the same time it is very, very effective. I'm going to place my arms in a Sphinx position. And if you already feel some tightness in front of your hips, you can stay there. If you don't feel tightness, you can work with your hands. And notice here, what we're doing again is opening that angle between the lumbar area and the thighs, the femurs. If the stretch is challenging and your lumbar area is bothersome, try this alternative approach. Shift a little to the side. I'm going to shift to the right side and work from there. I would be working my left psoas with greater intensity. I return to the initial position. And I push the front part of the hip. If you don't like it, there is a very good alternative, a little trick, and it's basically to place one leg down so that the foot is in contact with the couch, and from here go back to working the same. We can work straight to see how it feels. What sensations does it give? Don't you like it? We lateralize to the opposite side of the leg we focus on. From here, this alternative. Yes, I like it a lot, and yes, it gives me very good feelings. At the level of the left iliac fossa, anterior part of the hip. I work, I pull up, I hold a little bit, and return to the initial position. As seen, the final position suggests this exercise is not suitable for everyone. That it is reserved only for athletes and younger people. You have 5 alternatives. I put 4 in the title, but in the end I showed you 5. One even very, very simple. They are all organized by difficulty, so you can choose the one that best suits your abilities. As this last variant is quite stressful for the lumbar area, I would not hold it for 30 seconds. I would do extensions of about 5 to 10 seconds to work that extension at a level of the hip and the lumbar area. To stretch the PSO-AS. Once we finish this care, don't get up immediately. What we're going to do is lie down slowly on our side, get into a comfortable position, a position that doesn't cause us discomfort. We breathe, regain a little breath, the lumbar position, then we sit down. Why do we do this? Basically because the lumbar spine does not like sudden position changes, and if you get up suddenly, I'm sure pain will appear at the lumbar area level. 20-30 seconds and then we stand up again. Very well, what did you think? 5 very good alternatives. We are going to recap them right now to remember all where we have stretched the sana ciliaco in a way very effective. We started with a version placing the foot on the chair, throwing the pelvis forward to achieve a tightness in that iliac fossa. In the second version, we used the plate standing up, leaning on the chair, throwing that leg back. We did the third version lying down, one leg out and the other against the chest. The fourth, we got into a knight's position with one knee on the ground, the foot on the sofa, and the opposite leg in front, moving that pelvis forward. And the last alternative, completely face down, both feet on the sofa, lumbar extension with the hands, and this alternative where we have placed the leg to one side. Alternatives that seem easy are actually difficult. I'm sweating trying to solve them. Lights per year. I hope you can share the video with all the people who need it, who have hip discomfort, so that thanks to you we can make physiotherapy accessible to everyone. That's all for now. Thank you again for watching until the end of the video. I hope to see you again very soon.